All right, let's talk about it. A huge bombshell just dropped in the Bravo universe, and honestly, it's one a lot of us saw coming, but it still hits hard. Kyle Cooke and Amanda Batula, pretty much the founding couple of Summer House, have officially separated. So let's get into what exactly happened, trace back how we got to this point, and figure out what this all means for everyone involved. It all kicked off with one simple date, January 2026. This is the moment the news officially broke, and it confirmed weeks, if not months, of fan theories and speculation. You could really feel it in the air. This was the end of an era for the show. And then, boom, there it was. The headline that just sent shockwaves through the entire fan community. After almost a decade of watching their lives unfold, the couple that so many of us saw as the mom and dad of Summer House were officially done. So let's get into the specifics. The announcement basically confirmed all those rumors that had been flying around, especially after Kyle was spotted without his wedding ring. Sources are saying Amanda has officially moved out of their apartment in New York City. Now, they're describing the decision as mutual and difficult, as you'd expect, but it is important to remember. They're separated, but the legal divorce isn't final just yet.
Okay, so to really understand how we got here, we have to hit rewind because their relationship was never just a private romance, right? It was a main storyline, a central plot that we all watched unfold right in front of the cameras for nearly 10 years.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It all started way back in 2016 with that very messy situationship in the show's first season. From there, it grew into this huge business partnership with Loverboy. Then we all watched the televised wedding in 2021, and now here we are, the separation. Their entire journey from hookup to husband and wife has been the backbone of the show since day one. And this right here gets to the heart of the problem. Think about it. Most couples get to have their fights and their best moments in private. But for them, their absolute highest highs and their most crushing, devastating lows, we're talking everything from epic ragers to those horrible late-night fights, it was all filmed for us to watch and pick apart. That is a kind of pressure that is just immense. So what were the actual issues? What were the stressors that finally led to this breakup? Well, it really just boils down to a few major conflicts that were happening over and over again, both on and off screen. There's one word that keeps popping up in all the reporting about their split, and that word is intermingling. And it's the perfect way to describe what was going on. It's this idea that their work life and their home life got so tangled up it was impossible to see where one ended and the other began. It was almost like they were living a double life. On one hand, you have Kyle the husband and Amanda the wife, trying to deal with everyday marriage stuff, trust, communication. But then, on the other hand, you have Kyle the CEO and Amanda the creative director running this massive company and clashing over professional deadlines and expectations. The problem was, the stress from the boardroom was constantly spilling over into the living room, and vice versa. And honestly, for anyone who's been watching the show, none of this is a surprise, is it? We saw these same issues play out season after season. You had Kyle's whole work hard, play harder vibe, clashing with Amanda's need for some kind of balance. We saw old trust issues get brought up again and again, and all of it was happening under this constant, grinding pressure of living their entire lives out for an audience. This quote from a source just sums it all up perfectly. It highlights this central paradox of their whole partnership. Loverboy became this huge, massive success, but that success came at a price, and that price was their marriage. That professional win took a heavy personal toll, and in the end, that deal just became too high to pay. So, where does this leave everybody? What's the road ahead look like for Kyle, for Amanda, for their multi-million-dollar company, and for the show that started it all? Okay, let's break this down. For Kyle and Amanda individually, everything we're hearing is that their main focus is just on their own mental health and figuring out what's next for them. But the shared stuff, that's where the huge questions are. Can they actually co-manage Loverboy as exes? That seems tricky. And what about Summer House? How does the whole dynamic of the show change now that its core couple, its anchor, is gone? For now, though, with all the noise and the speculation about the future of the business and the show, it seems like their immediate priority is just to breathe. They're reportedly trying to focus on their well-being and just find their footing in this crazy new reality, hopefully with a little bit of privacy. And ultimately, their whole story leaves us with this much bigger, really thought-provoking question. Kyle and Amanda's relationship was never just a romance. It became a business, it became a brand, it was the central plot of a TV show. And it makes you wonder, When your relationship is literally a product, can a breakup ever truly be private? That's definitely something to chew on. Thanks so much for digging into this with me.